in the opening game of a 4-game series at Parkview Field between the TinCaps and the Lake County Captains. Here's the Captains tonight victorious 16-5 the final score. Back up in the booth with Kevin Fitzgerald, John Nolan, and Kevin, tonight just an offensive clinic for Lake County.
Yeah, they're able to put up the 19 hits, and almost more than half of those, I should say, are extra base hits. So it was one of those nights where the ball was just traveling, doubles, triples, a couple home runs from Bobby Bradley, who really put a good jolt into the baseball. So it was just a good night of hitting. And again, the ball travels tonight. It really does.
Yeah, and you wouldn't necessarily guess it looking at that final score, but it was actually the TinCaps who took a 1-0 lead in this game. Back in the bottom of the second inning, Jose Ruiz had an RBI single to give Fort Wayne the 1-0 advantage. However, Kevin, the TinCaps in this second inning had runners at second and third, nobody out, failed to score another run, and, well, they were going to need more offense tonight.
Yeah, this is the first of Bobby Bradley's home runs, this time over the right field fence, and he got a pitch up in the zone and really just took it out. Later on in that game, he came right back up to the plate and hit a little further the next time. Had a solo shot that went over the center field wall, so Bradley is just a really fine hitter. And you can see he got a pitch up and then took it out just to the left of the Tuthill 400 club. Bradley is one of the better hitters in this lineup. He's the cleanup man in the order. And we saw another home run later on in today's game from the Lake County Captains. But more importantly, the TinCaps were able to get some runs later in this game, and one big blast from Trey Santos.
Yeah, because the first of those two home runs from Bradley broke a 1-1 tie in the third inning, made it 4-1, and then a 7-run Lake County fourth inning broke the game open. The TinCaps did get that 2-run homer from Trey Santos in the bottom of the eighth inning, but it was for naught in a 16-5 loss. Santos, with his second home run of the season, it also ended up being the second time this season that he pitched late in the game in lopsided fashion.
Yeah, he did. He was able to come in. And, again, it's one of those situations where you don't want to use another arm from the bullpen in a game that big of a deficit. Santos has the history pitching. Why not throw him out there for one inning? He gets a little bit out of it and is able to loosen up that arm a bit as well.
Oh, the TinCaps hope to not have to use any position players on the mound tomorrow in Game 2 of this series behind Ernesto Montas, who has pitched very well for Fort Wayne so far, as you can tell there from his ERA through his first 5 starts of the season, and he'll go up against a southpaw in Sean Brady. We'll have that game here tomorrow night on Comcast Network 81 with coverage beginning at 7 o'clock. First pitch set for 7:05. Well, thank you for joining us here tonight. For everyone behind the scenes and Kevin Fitzgerald, John Nolan saying good night from Parkview Fields.
This has been a TinCaps production.